When you want to conquer a people, you give them a myth. You get them to believe the myth. And then you have, through repetition, have them form the habit of believing the myth.
We've been trained to think about Europeans as our God. So we're at war with who? We're at war with God, because many of us believe in the white image of Jesus, and if that's his son, we know that his father must also be white. So are you trying to tell me we're at war with that?
The thing about being conscious and truthful is you gotta be tough, you gotta be ready to get violent, because people are always gonna try to take advantage of you, because if you're winning, they're losing, and those guys cheat and you don't. So they gotta know not to play with you. They gotta know you can't really think that you're just gonna have an opinion without some muscle.
We've also had the mindset of resistance. Even in Los Angeles here, a lot of gangs got started because they were combating the white supremacist groups that were targeting black people in certain neighborhoods. So street gangs were created to really battle them at first.
In the 60s, they banned martial arts. They had registration of people's hands and feet because it was something that they didn't quite understand. And plus, when people came from the armed forces and started using karate, it was dangerous at that time.
In neighborhoods that are of a more upscale, financially affluent society, white, Jewish, etc., they are infused with fertility clinics. While in our societies, the ones that do not have that elevated level of economics, black and brown, impoverished communities, have abortion clinics.
The first revolution, Gil Scott-Heron tells us, is the revolution in the mind.
Nobody's being delivered from anything. God ain't doing nothing for nobody right now. Then gee, I wonder why. Because these folks are being favored for it.
Try to mute this so I'm not echoing. The so-called Manosphere had a live stream, and I get insomnia sometimes, so I was up at like midnight, and I ended up joining, and they just irked me. They weren't in reality, so I got off.
Yeah. I mean, those dudes, man, they're
Oh, Taylor Scott said they were all dusty. They were.
Yeah, there's some clowns. They don't want to. These dudes they don't want to have a real discussion or dialogue, and that's why nothing's going to come of it. And I'm slowly realizing that if anything is going to change with the black community and with black people, it's going to be up to the women. You know what I'm saying? Too many of these dudes, man, have detach themselves from the reality of the situation.
That's how we have to be about our goals. If you really want to see something come to fruition, you do until you demonstrate. Great quote by Ernest Holmes. Do until you demonstrate. We don't stop until we see the results. We don't stop until we see the change in our condition. And if you still ain't seeing the change, then maybe go rework your plan. Go pick up some more tools. Go surround yourself with even more impressive, powerful, motivating, inspiring people. Keep surrounding yourself with the things that you need in order to keep you moving forward till you get to where you want to get to. It may take you 2 months, it may take you 2 years, it may take you 20 years. Do until you demonstrate. That's when you know you've done it all.
or African people or a whole lot of different folks. I personally don't have a problem with a lot of folks. But we have this hatred. I had to block folks due to their disrespect. Not due to disagreement, but due to your disrespect. I don't care about you being faceless. But when you come to another person's house, you need to learn how to be civil. You have to learn how to talk to people with respect. But you don't know how to do that. You know, and I both know, the way that some of y'all act online, you know that you would not talk to me a certain way because you know there's a great percentage, there's a great chance if you speak to me in a wrong way, I might snap and punch you in your damn face. And you know that. But you can hide behind a picture and you can disrespect somebody. But I simply block you, go away. It's easy as that. And you can get angry. And what's so sad is, as soon as I block some of these troublemakers, I guess they will go to Gmail or whatever and make an account as fast as they could so they could come back and try to. It's easier. In fact, it's easier for me to block your account than it is to go to Gmail and go through all that trouble to make another account so that you can try to write some stuff, and before you can even get started good, you block. Now, when I get 100,000 subscribers and stuff like that, it's so many of you coming into the chat room, I don't even care. But at this time, it's not happening. I'm not going to let you write all this garbage to somebody that is a guest in my house. If you want to debate me, show your face and we can set it up. If you don't want to show your face, I'm going to charge you a fee, $50 interaction fee. If somebody that I really wanted to talk with, such as Brother Farrakhan or whatever, if he charged $1,000, I would pay that $1,000 and have a debate. I would do that. They would not take that offer. I'm only charging $50 because I'm a nobody, basically. Well, apparently I must be very, very important because these people really wanted to get in my chat room with their nonsense. That's not going to happen. Nobody fears your wisdom and your understanding because you don't have nothing. You're just a silly, cowardly, comfortable Negro in America. Don't have nothing else to do, running around, don't have nothing else to do except play on YouTube and Facebook all day. Now, I would like to have this hangout in the future. And it's a possibility. I don't know how this brother, Alquan, feels about it. I would like to speak to Alquan. And let's get to the bottom. And I want to have an understanding of why there's such hatred for those from the island, especially Jamaicans. I would like to understand this. I never heard of us speaking or targeting another oppressed person. Of course, there are those, even Africans, that come here that don't give a damn about us. But for some reason, you want to target the Jamaicans. There are others who don't care too much about you either. They are looking out for themselves. So, of course, you're going to have all types of dark-skinned people that don't want nothing to do with you anyway. And they are looking out for themselves. Now, I would say this now. We should look out for ourselves. We should be number one. However, there's something called having an ally. Now, I don't want you coming from the islands telling me what to do, telling me how to run my life. Maybe that's the problem. Is that what y'all, is this what this is all about? You have foreign people like from the islands that's coming here and you think they're trying to control you and trying to run your life or our lives or whatever? I don't know. So we need to, I want to sit back in the cut and we want to talk about this. But all dark-skinned people from the islands, in Asia, the continent of Africa, wherever you may find us, those of us who have been suffering under what we call white supremacy, we should seek to unite and work with one another for the benefit of us all. We should want to do that. And if there's a problem with our Jamaican brothers and sisters, we should not sit back in the cut and act silly. We should put our problem or our grievance on the table, present it to our Jamaican brothers and sisters, and let us solve this problem. Is it a true problem, or is it just in our minds, in our heads, what's going on here? And if it is a problem, then let's see if we can work that out. No dark-skinned persons that have suffered under white supremacy or pink supremacy, under these races, we should not find them as an enemy. We should find them as somebody, as a colleague, somebody that we can unite with that have a common enemy. They should not be hated. It felt so embarrassing for me that these trolls come from out of nowhere and want to attack this brother. It's embarrassing. So filled with hatred. And I asked them, show your face and come and talk about it. They won't do it. Why you won't do it? I'm not going to talk to you hiding behind a picture. I might if you're civil. But of course, you can't be civil. They want to call names and make these allegations and accusations and talk all silly. You're so childish. You need to learn how to grow up. So emotional over nothing and petty. Here you are living in a country, living in a racist system, and you have a people who may be planning to put you in a concentration camp or a mass grave. And your only friend that you really know of would be somebody with dark skin. And you better hope that a Jamaican is your friend. Because if a Jamaican or an African or any other dark-skinned person that's in this country, if we are not friends and allies, you're going to be in real bad shape. This don't make any sense. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad on the Muhammad Speaks had two brothers over the earth and they reaching out to one another. We who are in this country, reaching out to our other people across the world. We need this type of love. We need this type of connection. And if there is a problem in our family, if there's a problem in this connection, then we don't go around making mockery and all this silly stuff that we do. You go to our people. If there's a problem with our Jamaican brothers and sisters, then we need to talk it out. Brother Malcolm, many of you love Brother Malcolm. Brother Malcolm has a background from the islands. Was it his mother or something like that? He has a background like that. And many of us do. Because the so-called Negro, we're a little bit of everything. Who knows? And to concentrate and target on just Jamaicans, it sounds so silly and dumb. Who are you going to target next? Those from Ghana, those from Nigeria, those from the Congo. Who else is next that you don't like? And when it's all said and done, since you are dealing with just your own people, what have you accomplished? You have accomplished nothing except talk. A comfortable Negro slave. Y'all better get it together. Time is running out. We've already wasted 50 years. But again, in the future, let's talk about it right now in the comments. I need to set up a Google Hangout, and I will probably invite Alquan, and let's talk about this Jamaican thing. Until next time, y'all, peace.
Oh, wow. How y'all doing this morning? How y'all doing this morning? Okay. Yes, it is morning. We've awakened to a new day, and nothing has changed. There's a big possibility, as long as you have dark skin, there's a big possibility something bad could happen to you. Yes, something bad could happen to you. Some of us don't want to think about it. We try to block it out, but it makes no difference, because when you turn on your news, chances are something bad has happened to the so-called Negro in America, somewhere in this nation. It's something that has been happening to us for hundreds of years. And you would think that you would want to bring this to an end, but clearly many of you must like this. That's my only conclusion. And the reason why you like this is because tongue-tied this morning, I have observed a certain behavior among these who are called so-called Negro. You call yourself Hebrews, Black Muslims, Moors, Muslims, whatever you want to call yourself. Makes no difference. I call us the descendants of slaves born in America having dark skin. People of soul, or the rainbow people. And yes, I do represent a rainbow coalition, if you understand. Now, what have I observed? I'll tell you what I have observed. We love things that make us feel good. Yeah, that's why we drink. You drink because it makes you feel good, right? Y'all like to watch pornography because your sexual organ, that makes you feel good. Yeah, it makes you feel good. You like to smoke weed? Why? Because it makes you high. It makes you high. It makes you feel good. Yes. Excuse me. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Why do you like these black doing nothing for you YouTubers? Why do you like them? Because you can sit and listen to them, and they make you feel good. You don't want to deal with reality, because reality means actually hands-on doing the work to get an oppressor or solve a problem. Getting an oppressor off your back or solving a problem, and you don't want to do the work. You want a ghost, you want a spook, you just want to feel good. So when you listen to Louis Farrakhan, one of the great preachers, they give you nothing. Yeah, I'm sorry, but he gives you nothing, but he can make you feel good, and you sit back and go Farrakhan, and ooh, Farrakhan, do it to me, baby. Yeah, minister. Oh, see, because it makes you feel. Oh, baby, you got me tingling. Oh, baby, that's my spot. That's my spot. All these people, they don't do nothing for you except make you feel good. Putting their hands in the right place. Ooh, God. Oh, Polite. Oh, brother Polite. Oh, baby. Oh, Cyrus. Oh, young Frau. Oh, Sonetta. Ooh. O'Shea Duke Jackson. Oh, the Black Authority. Oh, the list goes. Oh, Cynthia G. Oh, China Fox. Oh, come on. Oh, That's all it is. That's all it is. Feel good. You're not looking for substance. You're looking for a temporary feel good. You're not interested in a permanent feel good. Physical sex makes you feel good temporarily. And you can moan. You can groan. Oh, baby. y'all do. Y'all like temporary feeling good. You can drink and smoke your weed and do your drugs and get high. Y'all satisfied with temporary feeling good. But see, a mental feeling good, what they call a spiritual feeling good, you know, that can last forever because it's permanent. So you have those out here in YouTube land, because they want to feel good, they say there's no such thing as white supremacy. Y'all giving the white man too much credit. Feel good rhetoric. That makes you feel good. Ain't no such thing as white supremacy. White man don't do nothing for me. No white man can tell me what to do. White man. Y'all like that's talk. Rhetoric, feel good rhetoric. You want to feel good about yourself and that way you don't really have to do nothing. Okay, let's say for instance, okay, there's no such thing as white supremacy. What do you want to call it? Because clearly, the Caucasian people or the pink people, clearly, you don't run them. There's no such thing as white supremacy, okay. But why do you pay white folks taxes? Why do you eat the food that they grow? You don't grow no food for yourself. You pay them taxes. You send your children to their school so they can teach your children what they want them to know, not what you think they should need. And if the Caucasian people say it's time to go to war, you send your children to war. But, you know, but you say that when you open up, when you reach into your pocket, you pull out a dollar bill, your face or a face that looks like yours is on the dollar bill. In fact, it's a racist, it's the face of a racist that's on the dollar bill who actually raped your ancestors, enslaved your ancestors, lynched your ancestors, and all type of horrific things. And some of y'all call this your father. He's the father of this nation. He's your father too. What law do pink people make, Caucasian people of America make, that you make? What law do you make that pink people obey? I'm just waiting. Da 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 da. Nothing. Nothing. You obey everything they present to you. You are educated by them. You speak their language. The only thing that you know about in life outside of yourself is them. But there's no such thing as Caucasian supremacy. Many of you have a hatred for dark skin. I don't want a real black woman. I don't want a real black man. I want me a red bone. You prefer that. You're biased and prejudiced against dark skin, many of you. But there's no such thing as white supremacy, because within white supremacy, white supremacy makes, or pink supremacy, Caucasian supremacy, it makes or places the light over the dark. There is no equality. Show me how you are equal to the Caucasian people. Since there's no such thing as white supremacy, that means you are equal or even above the Caucasian people. Show me these things. The car you drive was not built by you. The gas you put in your car was not manufactured by you. Nothing about you is about you, but you're going to run around and have the nerve to talk about Ain't no such thing as white supremacy. White folks don't tell me what to do. You're a damn lie. You cannot even leave America unless you get a passport. You cannot return to America without a passport. You need their permission, but they don't control nothing. You're equal to them. They don't need your permission to leave the country. They don't need your permission to come back to the country. How are you equal to them? What do you do, or how do you influence them? Since y'all equal, there's no such thing as Caucasian supremacy. If you are not equal and cannot show that you're equal or above another person, then you are an inferior. It's not like your family. In a family, you have the parents who are the superior, and you have children who are the inferior until the children grow up and become equal to their parents. Until then, I love you, but I'm the superior. I'm your parent. I'm taking care of you. This Caucasian person, these Caucasian people in this nation have been taking care of your ass. In fact, they really birthed you 400 years, whether you like it or not. But of course, in your mind, you love the rhetoric. Ain't no such thing as white supremacy. I don't care. You can call it whatever you want to call it. When it's all said and done, you have another man that dictates your life. You have another man, another people who control your destiny. If they say you can't do it, it won't be done. You have to have their permission, their approval. And if you equal or above them, why is that? How is that possible? You need another people's permission. You have to fight for your civil rights. You have to fight for your human rights. If you equal and just as equal as they are or above, why you have to fight for your rights? Why you still have to sing, we shall overcome, why you still got to protest? And when you protest, you better do it under their control. You better watch yourself, because they will kill you outright and you know it. But if you was on their level or above, you would not give a damn about what they talking about or what they do. Because whatever they dish out, you can dish it right back to them because you're equal. But see, you know that you are inferior, and you're too lazy, and you're a coward, and really don't want to do what it takes in order to be equal or above your slave master and his children. That's the problem. So you want to moan. Ooh, there's no such thing as white supremacy. Ooh, baby. You want to pretend and get this temporary false feeling. That's why you can't handle what comes from this ministry, because I'm not about that. I don't want to feel good. I don't want a temporary feeling. I want to get this beast and this oppression off my back once and for all. Morning. I don't know whether to say good morning or not. If you are a descendant of slaves born in America, having dark skin, living in a racist environment, I don't know if it's proper to say good morning. So the best thing I can do is say or offer you peace. And at least you know, if I say peace to you, at least you know I don't have an intent to rob you or lie on you. See, there are people who wish peace, and actually they will hurt you. They will make mockery of you, talk behind your back, all types of stuff, but they represent peace. Islam is supposed to be the religion of peace. But when we examine Islam, we see that it's not really peaceful. And when you listen to those who run their mouth a lot, you can see that there's nothing peaceful about it. And we're gonna sort of talk about that, just a little taste. But I want to begin the topic by saying this. My first car was a 1973 Ford Maverick. Yes, or 1972 Ford Maverick. I bought it from an older sister for $100. And she said, the car runs. The only thing you have to do is put a battery in the car and put air in the tires, and you should be good to go. So I didn't even try the car. I believe the sister, because back in the day, many of us, we were honest. We were good to our word. Nowadays, you can't trust too many folks. You can't go on their word. They'll tell you one thing and do something else. They will stab you in the back, smile in your face and stab you in the back. And then they will say, all praises is due to Allah. Praise Jesus. And they stab you in the damn back. But this sister, her words were true. So I bought a battery. I put air in the tires. And this car was a rust bucket. I mean, it was really, really rusted out. But what do you expect for $100? And I brought the car home, and many of my family members was like, ugh, where you get that from? What do you expect from $100? Now, I want to tell you, see, my mind is not trying to look pretty. My mind was, I was riding the bus. I need to get off the bus. So I found a cheap car that actually ran. This car was a running car for $100. People at the bus stop was laughing at the car, you know, making mock of the car. You at the bus stop, wait on the bus. I don't have to wait for the bus. Now, above all, this car was mine. I don't care what it looked like. Nobody can claim that this car was mine. Of course, they wouldn't want to claim this ugly car, but this is my car. I paid for the car with my money that I worked hard for. It's mine. Nobody can say, well, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have that car. You're a damn lie. Get the hell away from me. This is mine. You ain't do nothing for me. So I will be happy with my car that looks ugly until I am able, if I want to have a pretty car. I don't want to I don't want to ride the bus. To bring another analogy to what I want to say is many of us growing up in large families, I'm pretty sure, we're used to getting hand-me-down clothes. You had an older brother or you had an older sister, and instead of your parents, because of your economic, you poor or whatever, you had to wear the hand-me-downs from your brothers and sisters. And that sucks. Nobody wants hand-me-downs. Nobody wants leftovers from somewhere else. It's always nice to have your own. I want my own. So I'm thinking about this teaching that God brought to we who are the so-called Negro in America. I prefer to say the people of soul, the rainbow people, the descendants of slaves born in America, dark skin, who come in various skin colors and features and types. Why would God come here to North America to bring us a hand-me-down from another people, bring us Islam? Now, mind you, I want to give Islam its credit. To me, Islam is a little bit better than Christianity. However, I have learned that Islam is nothing but an Arab version of Christianity. They basically the same prophets, and basically the same crap. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend. I don't mean to say crap, you know, because some of y'all really believe these things. But here's a God. This God is able to create the sun, moon, and the star, this earth. They say that God created us and the animals and the plants. You mean to tell me that this God could not come here or inspire somebody to bring us our new religion? Why is that? Why do we have to have Islam? Well, of course, there are many of you would give me a reason, but when it's all said and done, you did not have it first. Somebody else had it. These Arabs, they had Islam first, and mind you, they also forced Islam on many dark-skinned people. Mind you, the Arabs created a commercial slave trade way before the Europeans, and have created more atrocity than the Europeans in that slave trade. And many Muslims don't want to talk about that. They just want to talk about the peace of Allah. If it was not for the violence of Islam, you would not be a Muslim right now. Many dark-skinned people would not be Muslims right now because of the violence, not because of the peace of Islam, because of the violence. At any rate, why would God? Let me tell you something about a parent. The only reason why a parent would give their child hand-me-downs is because they just can't do any better. So the older brother passed down his clothes down to the younger brother, because any parent wants what is in the best interest of their children. So you have a God here that apparently really don't give a damn about us, because this God is not poor. This guy is going to actually extract a religion from another people and give it to us, and don't even give it to us in the manner that those people practice that particular religion. And then these wackos will come to us talking about that is not true. That's not real Islam. At the same time, the prophet said a few generations after him would not be of him. So what you got, Mr. Arab, is not Islam either. So what the hell are you talking about? I'm not here to defend Islam, this Islam or that Islam. I'm here to make a point that God should have given us our own religion. Christianity came from our slave master. Islam came from another slave master. Why can't God give a slave something outside of what his slave masters gave him? What kind of God is this? I want my own. Now, of course, many of you who come to this channel, you know that I'm not religious. But I will say this. God has come. Not in the way that you think. It's the God in yourself. God, this creation, has given you the tools that you need if you only look into yourself. Remember the story of Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. And she wanted to go home. And they found out that the Wiz was a fake. You will soon find that God is a fake. That you need to look into yourself. And when Dorothy looked into herself, she found out that she could have took herself home all the time. The only thing she had to do was click her heels. You can bring yourself to where you need to be if you click your heels, meaning click the essence of your mind. Click the essence of your brain. Your brain is your God. Your brain is that which gives you the real solutions to your problems. These gods is like the Wizard of Oz. They are fake. That's why all this time your condition has not changed because you're believing in something that is not real. Your brain can give you your identity. You run around, want to be an Arab, you want to be a Moor or a Hebrew and all these different things instead of being yourself. Your brain can guide you to your real self. Accept your own and be your real self. And it's none of these different things. That's why you're having problems. That's why we live in confusion, because instead of looking within, using your brain, you're looking without, looking into the trash can of other people, looking for leftovers like you're a damn scavenger. I'm going to say that again. The so-called Negro Christianity don't have nothing to do with you. Islam don't have nothing to do with you. Buddhism and all these things that we all have to, you have nothing to do with their creation. But if you are a child of God, why aren't you able to create and bring and make manifest something that comes from your own self? You're a scavenger like a dog, running around from garbage dump to garbage dump, looking for your clothes, looking for something that fits you. And all the time, you got the power in yourself. The only thing you have to do is click your heels together. Use your brain. You refuse to use your brain. You're caught up in rigid thinking. So y'all caught up in the teachings, the scholarship. The scholarship is only as good as the scholar. And the scholar, his mentality, his mindset is limited. But if you look into and dwell, embrace the God in yourself, that is limitless. So that makes you beyond the scholar. That makes you beyond the teachings. You begin to flex your train of thought where it's endless. You're not rigid in your mind like the teachings. You're not rigid in the mind like the scholarship. And you can get angry at me all that you want to, but the proof is in the pudding. We see that you're not going nowhere. It makes no sense for you to debate me because I already know how you think. Because your thinking is rooted and based in the teachings, in the scholarship. And since I know what you're being taught, since I know the scholarship, even before you open up your mouth good, I'm already on your case. You're always going to be on the defensive with me. You'll never be on the offensive. Because I have learned, and I am learning how to use my brain. I am learning how to become God. And that's what y'all teach. But when somebody actually is trying and in the process of becoming God, you got a problem with somebody who is actually forming themselves and raising themselves to the point where they are evolving into a God. Not the God, of course, but a God. Before I get this day started, I hope that your morning is peaceful. I understand that living in this world, that sometimes peace is very rare. Peace is very difficult or hard to come by. So I want to let you know right now that from this house, I don't know about any other house, but from this house, we will always come to you and truly be sincere and offer you peace at all times. This is necessary. However, if you wish to break that peace, then you leave us no choice. Like the Quran say, fight with those who fight with you. I just want to make some points real quick and give you some information so that it's very clear where we stand, and also inform you where we would like to go, the direction that we would like to take this ministry. I want to say that due to circumstances beyond our control, speaking with those of whom wish to help us in this effort, or help me in this effort, we've decided to change our Mississippi campaign, and it is ours. If you hear anything about a Mississippi campaign, the original concept came from this house. The Mississippi campaign, anything that you hear outside of this house is not real. It's a altered version. It's a distorted version of the original. The original Mississippi campaign came from here. However, we wish to just let those who want to use the Mississippi campaign as their own, we are going to allow, and not going to make no big deal about it. You can have it. So, from this rostrum, we no longer represent the Mississippi campaign. What we represent now, and it's still going to be similar, we're still going to be talking about Mississippi, but we may be going in a different direction because we're creative like that. We understand that the struggle should be looked upon just like you would a game of chess. You move here, and you move there, you move your queen back, you move your king forward, move your pawns this. We understand that sometimes in playing a game or using a strategy, you have to be flexible in thought. So we are changing our name from, or concept from, the Mississippi campaign to what we call now Operation Exodus. Operation Exodus. So we are Operation Exodus, but we are still talking about taking control of a state and so forth. That does not change. And we also plan to take our effort in a slightly different direction. I want to make very clear, those brothers and sisters who wish to and have altered the original concept of the Mississippi campaign, there is no hatred, there is no jealousy, there is no envy. In fact, again, we continue to offer our assistance as long as we can to whatever you do. However, the reason why there must be a split or a division of the concept is because of the alteration. We do not agree with some of the rhetoric, some of the hate speech that's coming out of those against our own people, because some of our people are different, because some of our people have chosen to live their lives a certain way. Then we reject our people, but we love our people, but we reject them because they don't and will not do what we think they should do. And I'm not about that. Freedom, justice, and equality should be a right. And you should want that for all our people, regardless to where you find them in life, because that's not our top priority. Top priority is not our own personal desire. Top priority should be simply the liberation and taking care of your people who have suffered under an oppressor for the last going on 500 years. That should be top priority. I'm going to talk about that probably in a few weeks to clarify our position. But there is no hatred, there is no malice, there is no anger toward those who clearly did actually take our concept from this house and try to make it their own. And that's fine. But we cannot be associated with those. When you watch their videos, you can feel the hatred. They talk about violence, stoning people to death, and violence against their own people. I cannot, and those who wish to go in a different direction, understand what the original concept of the Mississippi campaign was about. We cannot support and we cannot be associated with something that could also bring unnecessary problems, unnecessary trouble when you don't have to have that. The purpose of the Mississippi campaign was never to set up something so that we can be a dictator and actually becoming an oppressor of our people. I'm not about that. I'm not looking for a slave master. I'm not interested in becoming a slave master or a dictator or nothing to that effect. We will speak about that in a video lecture at a, hopefully, if time allows, at a later date. And in conclusion, I want to say this to us very briefly. I was watching a video by our soul brother, Brother Polite, and he was saying something that I very, very much concur with. Brother Polite was talking or speaking about being in the so-called black conscious community, and basically what he was saying is that he does not feel, and I concur with him 1,000%, he does not feel, and it is not right, that this burden, this thing called black liberation, should fall upon his shoulders. All his economic wealth, all his work goes into trying to free a people who seemingly don't want to be free themselves. Thus, he denies his own personal family, a little happiness on this earth. He would like to take his children to Disneyland on trips. He would like to, since he is doing the work, he would like to put his family in a nice house and try to live comfortable. See, that's also a problem we also have too. But I understand where we're coming from. See, that's our real problem in America. Many of y'all, you drive nice cars, you have nice homes, you educated, and you're comfortable. You scream black power and all this type of stuff. I hate the white man, all this kind of feel good rhetoric. But when it's all said and done, you're nothing but a black power house Negro. But again, I concur with Brother Polite. Why should all the burden, and I say this all the time, I am not going to do this by myself. Here is a concept. Here is ideas. If we put this into practice, if we take action upon this idea, it will bring you many, many benefits. I have explained this to you. It can work. There's no doubt it can work. And I understand there are jealous people and silly people who want to continue to try to put a round peg into a square hole. And they can keep doing that forever, however long they want to do. They want to continue to be feel-good losers. Education has been tried. It has failed. Religion has been tried. It has failed. All these different things have tried and they have failed. Protested and marching and whatever. But there is a way that all these things that we love can truly succeed if we wrap them around a solid concept. This is what we present when we give to you Operation Exodus. But myself, it's not fair that myself and all those who wish to help me, not follow me, but help me, assist me in this effort, it's not fair that the very few of us, we actually sacrifice our lives in an effort that all of our people should benefit. That's why the original concept of the Mississippi campaign was to be a national effort, inspired all of the 40 to 70 million dark-skinned people in this country, inspire all of us to participate in the effort to liberate themselves. That's why it was never meant to take over a city, but to take control of a state, because it's a nationwide effort. If you go nationwide and all of us find our way to help the effort, then every soul brother and sister, man, woman, and child can feel good about themselves because all of them actually participated in a movement to bring a benefit to all of us. Unlike the civil rights movement, unlike the so-called black revolution, only a few handful of people actually did something. There was no real effort from the 18 to 20 or so million brothers and sisters who lived at that time. Because if there was really a mass effort, there's nothing the enemy can do that can stop you. They can hinder your efforts taking control of a city. They can hinder your efforts, a small effort, to take control of a state. But when you inspire our people, all of us, to participate in your liberation, you cannot be stopped, no matter what they do. Their media, even their military, nothing can stop you. When all or a big majority of the 40 to 70 million actually participate. That's why it's important for it to be a national effort. That's why it was important for me to reach out to Louis Farrakhan and our national leaders so we can inspire our people to liberate themselves instead of all the burden fall upon this leader or this organization and so forth. That's the reason why. So, I'm not going to do it. I have been in the struggle for a little while, and I would like to be happy. I would like to be a comfortable slave for a while, because I have been a rebellious slave. A comfortable, but I've been a rebellious slave for a lot of years. And if you don't want liberation, if you don't want to do no better, then let the cards fall where they may. But I'm telling you, your future is a concentration camp, a return to physical slavery, or a mass grave. You want to keep playing games. You want to keep being lazy. You want to keep wallowing in this feel-good effort crap. Some God, some spaceship, some gonna fall out the sky to come and save you. If you want to continue to do that, then so be it.